The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise to push for immediate and overwhelming passage of my legislation, H.R. 382, the Pandemic is Over Act. President Biden and I both agree the COVID-19 pandemic is over. In fact, on the eve of the Pandemic is Over Act going on the House floor, President Biden finally announced he is going to end the COVID-19 emergency declarations. I'm glad that my bill finally forced the Biden administration to act. However, President Biden has taken too long to act on his statement last September that the pandemic is over, which is why I am moving forward with my bill to end the COVID-19 public health emergency and finally restore checks and balances between Congress and the executive branch. There was a time and a place for COVID-19 public health emergency. On this day 3 years ago, then Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Azar first invoked the COVID-19 public health emergency. The COVID-19 public health emergency was used at the beginning of the pandemic to establish Operation Warp Speed and provide for CMS waivers that led to millions of seniors.
The gentleman will suspend. The House will be in order. Please take conversations off of the House floor. The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
The COVID-19 public health emergency was used at the beginning of the pandemic to establish Operation Warp Speed and provide CMS waivers that led to millions of seniors receiving critical health care services through mediums such as telehealth, removing various forms of red tape, getting in the way of health care providers' ability to care for their patients. Now, exactly 3 years later of the original disaster public health declaration, we're in much better position to address COVID-19. We have proven therapeutics in addition to 95% of the population either being previously infected with COVID-19 or vaccinated. Even a senior administration official even stated, quote, "We're in a pretty good place in the pandemic. Cases are down dramatically from where they were the past 2 winters," end quote, according to Politico reporting. It's long overdue for President Biden to unwind the public health emergency, despite the overwhelming evidence that COVID-19 is now endemic and that the pandemic is over. Secretary Becerra just renewed the public health emergency for the 12th time. The Pandemic is Over Act sends a loud and clear message to President Biden. The American people are tired of living in a perpetual state of emergency, and it's long overdue for Congress to take back the authorities granted under Article 1 of the Constitution. The Pandemic is Over Act would immediately terminate COVID-19 public health emergency. Nothing in my bill ends Title 42, despite the administration stating that it would. Let me repeat, nothing in this bill ends Title 42. The Biden administration and Biden administration alone controls Title 42. That statute was written in 1944, before the authority of the public health emergency even existed. If the Biden administration chooses to end Title 42 when the public health ends without working with us to secure the border, that's just another one of the failures to add to the list. To be clear, we support the ability to declare a public health emergency to address clear and serious public health threats. Maintaining these regulatory flexibilities during a public health emergency are crucial, but these authorities should only be used for limited periods of time based upon the particular circumstances and prevalence or immediacy of the public health threat. Now it's time to rescind the President's emergency powers, and Congress can address the present and future needs that may arise with COVID-19. Since President Biden took office, we have seen the pandemic used to justify countless executive overreaches. The President has used the pandemic one-size-fits-all vaccine mandates for healthcare workers, mask mandates, and eviction moratoriums. While ending the COVID-19 public health emergency will not relinquish all the President's power that has been used to make those decisions, it does make it more difficult to justify bypassing Congress to enact his policies. Finally, I want to address the arguments about the unwinding of the public health too quickly emergency. Democrats had unified control and could have extended, or the administration could have undertaken rulemaking to unwind the COVID-19 public health emergency. Congress is already we need to work together on extending a number of provisions to the COVID-19 public health emergency. Where are their bills and where are there bills that would extend or unwise these things? Where was the hearing last Congress if this was such an issue? Mr. Speaker, the pandemic is over, and I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 382, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Kentucky reserves. The gentleman from New Jersey is